Hey, have you guys seen this? We are getting blasted in the ass by the state liquor tax.
Oh.
Blasted in the ass?
Mac, we have the same conversation every year. There's nothing you can do about taxes.
You guys might want to think about voting every once in a while.
What has voting ever done?
Why are you coming down? Voting?
Who am I supposed to vote for? Am I supposed to vote for the Democrat who's going to blast me in the ass, or the Republican who's blasting my
See,
ass?
politics is just all one big ass
It is a
blast.
coast
You're
to
gonna
coast,
get your ass blasted.
nationwide
You know
ass
what?
blasting.
No more. You guys are such morons. If you knew anything at all about politics, you would know that that is not true.
Politics in America is as polarizing as ever. In 2014, a study by the Pew Research Center discovered that Democrats and Republicans have become more entrenched in their own camps than ever before. But why is this happening? My theory? Racism. Okay, well, not racism, but the same underlying behaviors that cause racism: stereotyping, prejudice, and the effects of in-groups and out-groups. America's political parties can so often be identified by stereotypes. For Republicans, it may be racist and bigots. For Democrats, you might hear lazy or freeloaders or even socialist and communists. Stereotypes are often not the whole truth or false, and they can damage relationships between different groups. So let's take a step back and look at how stereotypes are formed in the first place. Research has found that activating stereotypes can set in motion a sequence of related events that confirms the stereotype. In layman's terms, a stereotype that a person holds about one group of people may be falsely confirmed when they interact with an outgroup. This can happen in 3 stages. Stage 1 consists of learning information about the traits possessed by members of another group. The problem with this stage is that we have the tendency to seek out expectancy confirming evidence, which only leads to biased beliefs that can support stereotypes. For example, let's say you had a sibling who played video games too much and was lazy and irresponsible. You might have learned to think that all people who play video games possess these traits. Stage 2 consists of the effects of expectancies on our perceptions of others. What this means is that when interacting with others, we pay more attention to expectancy confirming information than to expectancy disconfirming information. Back to our example. Let's say you were browsing YouTube one day and you came across this video.
Dad! Pick up what you can! Please! This cost me like hundreds of dollars! It's an expensive hobby! I don't care. You gotta get a job. What is this achieve? What does this achieve? What does that achieve what? What is this gonna do? Mowing my game's over. Maybe you'll quit playing for a while, get a job, pay some of your bills. I'm never gonna quit playing!
Because this confirms a learned stereotype, you might now think something like, yup, typical gamer, and now believe the stereotype you learned is true about all those who play video games. Stage 3 consists of how the expectancies shape our behavior. Since in stage 2 we were seeking expectancy confirming information, we now shape our behavior towards these groups around this perception, whether or not it's true. Finally, in our example, since you have now confirmed your stereotype, you may treat all those who play video games as if they were lazy and irresponsible, even though that is wildly untrue. Now let's put these 3 stages together then, in the case of political parties.
Describe Democrats.
Gun control, handouts, debt. What else? You want more? Just a general disdain for God and country, in my opinion.
Most of them want to give everything away.
Maybe brainwashed?
I can't describe all Democrats, but it's my learned opinion that the Democrat Party is a crime syndicate, not a real political party.
What are Republicans like?
People that don't have a clue. Close-minded.
Stuffy. They're mean.
In some sense, some of them are racist.
I've yet to meet a racist Republican where I live or with the people I work with the party, or a homophobic Republican.
Okay, I want you to rewatch this, but this time, watch it as a Democrat or a Republican. Listen to the stereotypical labels that are being thrown around and focus on what thoughts might go through your head when you hear them.
Gun control, handouts, just a general disdain for God and country, in my opinion.
Most of them want to give everything away.
People that don't have a clue. Close-minded.
stuffy. They're mean.
In some sense, some of them are racist.
So, if you were a Democrat, you might have watched that and found that it reinforced your opinions on Republicans. While if you were a Republican, you might have found it reinforced your opinions on Democrats. This is a great example of how the media can reinforce stereotypes in their audiences. The information that we have already gathered is now being confirmed by the media we consume, whether or not it is even true. This leads us to form our behavior towards the outgroup, in this case Democrats or Republicans, around these possibly false beliefs. The best way to combat the political division from stereotypes is through media literacy, or the ability to access, analyze, evaluate, and create media in a variety of forms. Media literacy is imperative in being able to consume media and analyze if their data and stories are biased or not. Many journalism outlets are providing bias or even flat-out wrong news that shows certain political parties in a harsh light. One notable example is the website InfoWars, as shown by this clip.
Bottom line, Democrats are America-hating traitors. This is a fact. This is a maxim that they embrace. Better put, they are not Americans. Powerful multinational corporations allied with foreign dictatorships knew they could never take down the U.S. from without. It had to be done from the inside. You are witnessing that attempted takedown. We are literally fighting for the very existence of our republic. You understand, that's not rhetoric. I wish every millisecond that they hadn't converted Democrats to foaming at the mouth anti-Americans who literally hate God, capitalism, wealth, success, families. But they sure want wealth and power for themselves, and they believe that if this system takes over and that they can bring in enough illegal aliens, that then the government is going to socialize everything and give them all a bunch of wealth, when every time they do this, they do the opposite.
Apart from the fact that Americans for the most part are not media literate, we are creating political echo chambers that further reinforce our stereotypes towards other political groups. For Republicans, it may be watching only Fox News and following only Republican friends and Republican pages on Facebook, while for Democrats, it may be only watching CNN and following Democrat friends and pages on Facebook. Not only does that cause our stereotypes about the opposing political party to be reinforced by others that hold the same opinions, but it further entrenches us into our own in-groups, creating an us and them type relationship, where we see the opposing political party as the enemy. So, now time for the real question. Can we fix it? No, we can't, at least in my opinion. Politics is a deeply tribal issue, and it's natural for humans to remain within groups and avoid or disagree with some outgroups. It's how we grow up and make decisions. We're bound to disagree with those who don't agree with us. Unfortunately, the way that media outlets have catered to stereotypes and biases, this disagreement and distance between groups ideologically has just widened too much. Without an institutional change that radically transforms how we teach media literacy in the US, we'll most likely remain in our current state of declining relationships between political parties, which is sad because Americans should be working together to find compromises to better the country, not fighting each other to have it our own way. But the cycle of confirmation bias and stereotypes continues, and unfortunately, we as a country do not have the means to stop it.